We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Good afternoon. Today we are going to study about transformer. This is the third chapter of Basic Electrical Engineering of second semester student in GTU. Okay, so everybody know about transformer. So you have seen transformer in everywhere, in front of your societies, in substations, power plants, etc. So what is the function of that transformer and why that transformer is used? Okay, so today we will discuss about that. So transformer. Transformer is a static device. Okay, as there is no rotating part in transformer, it is called a static device. Okay, transformer word means that it transfer energy of one level to another level, or it transfer energy from one point to another point. Okay, so you can say that transformer is not an energy conversion device. Remember, it is not a conversion device, but it is transferred that power, you can say, or energy. Okay, so it is not a conversion device, but it is a device that changes. Okay, second, it changes AC electrical power from one level to another level. Means you can say that it can step up or step down your AC electrical power. Okay, step up means to raise the power. If you are giving input at 220 volt, okay, and you are receiving at output at 440 volt, then that is step up. And if you are giving input at 220 volt and you are receiving at 110 volt voltage, then it is a step down. Okay, so you can say that it changes the level of voltage. Okay, last is it increase or decrease in current rating also. Okay, and the most important thing is that during this process frequency remains the change. Sorry, frequency does not change. Okay, so you can say that transformer is a static device which transfer your energy from one level to another level. During this transfer, frequency does not change. Fine. Okay. Now, the basic principle of transformer is that it works on mutual induction. Now, mutual induction is what you are seeing that diagram of a transformer on your screen. Okay, in that two limbs are there. Okay, this is your primary limb or limb number 1. Okay, and this is your secondary limb. Fine. So two windings are mounted on both limbs. Okay, primary winding on one limb and secondary winding on second limb. These two windings are not electrically connected. Remember that they are not electrically connected. But when you are giving supply to any one winding, okay, suppose you are giving supply to primary winding, so what happens? EMF will be generated in secondary winding by means of mutual induction. Okay, so you can say that transformer works in the basic transformer works on mutual induction principle. Fine, done. Second, in short, transformer carries the operations shown below. Transfer of electrical power from one circuit to another, transfer of electrical power without any change in frequency, transfer with the principle of electromagnetic induction, and two electrical circuits are linked by mutual inductions. Okay, that two coils were linked by mutual induction. They were not electrically connected. Okay, now classification of transformer. If we classify transformer, we can say it as a single phase or three phase according to its phase. As per its core, we can say core type or cell type. Okay, as per its cooling system, self-cooled, air-cooled, oil-cooled, etc. Okay, according to its operation, it may be of measuring type, protective type. Okay, then power transformer, etc. are there. Okay, here we have seen three types of classifications. Then let's start from core type transformer. Core type transformer as shown in figure. Okay, core type transformer, in that two windings are mounted on core. That is the main point in it. Okay, so the coils used for this transformer are formed wound and are of cylindrical type. Okay, such a type of transformer can be applicable for small size and large size transformers. In small size transformer, the pole will be rectangular in shape and the coil used are cylindrical. The figure below shows large size type. Okay, you can see that the round or cylindrical coils are wound in such a way as to fit over a circumference core section. In the case of circular cylindrical coils, they have a fair advantage of having good mechanical strength. Fine. The cylindrical coil will have different layers and each layer will be insulated from each other with the help of material like paper, cloth, boards and so on. Okay. The general arrangement of core type transformer is shown below. Here one is LV, another is HV. Okay, LV, HV, LV winding, HV windings, LV insulations, HV insulations. Okay, so basic here you can see that these are two cores, core having two limbs. Okay, now this core may be of E shape, C shape, okay, I shape, etc. Here we are using C type of core. Okay, these are cores of 0.3 mm to 0.5 mm laminated silicon steel type. Okay, to reduce the eddy current losses. Fine. Now going further, okay, this is the cut section area, cut cross sectional view of your core type transformer, or you can say cut sectional view of your core type transformer. And this is the top section view. So low voltage winding are placed nearer to the core as it is easy to insulate. Okay, this you can see that this is your LV, this is your HV. LV is nearer to your core. Okay, the effective core area of the transformer can be reduced with the use of lamination and insulations. Okay, now then comes your cell type transformer. Cell type transformer has E-shaped type of laminated silicon steel. Okay, uh, in that you can say that in a single limb, okay, primary and secondary both winding are mounted. Instead of primary or secondary, you can also say LV and HV type of windings. Okay, LV and HV means low voltage type and high voltage type. So in cell type transformer, the coil are form wound but are multi-layer disc type usually wound in form of pancake. Okay, paper is used to insulate the different layer of the multi-layer disc. The whole winding consists of disc stacked with insulation space between the coil. These insulation space from horizontal cooling and insulating the such a transformer may have a shape of simple rectangular or may have a distributed form. Both design are shown in the figure. Okay, this is your core type, this is your cell type. Got it? Okay. Now this is your core type, cell type. In that you can say two limbs are there. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Windings are placed in two limbs. The strong rigid mechanical bracing must be given to the core and coil of transformer. This will help in minimizing the moment of device and also prevent the device from getting any insulation damage. A transformer with good bracing will not produce any humming noise during its work and will also reduce vibrations. A special housing platform must be provided for transformers. Usually the device is placed in tightly fitted sheet metal tank filled with special insulating oil. This oil is needed to circulate through the device and cool the coils. It is also responsible for providing the additional insulations for the device when it is in left in air. Okay, so ideal transformer now comes to the theory point of view. Okay, ideal transformer. Ideal transformer is a transformer which has no losses. Okay, basically ideal means what? No losses. Okay, 100% efficiency, which is not practically available, but during study we have to take consideration of it. Okay, so an ideal transformer is a transformer which has no losses. Its winding has no ohmic resistance, no magnetic leakage, and therefore no I square R losses and core losses. Okay. However, it is impossible to realize such type of transformer in practice. Practically, it is not possible. Okay, yet the approximate characteristic of ideal transformer will be used in characteristic of practical transformer. Okay, but for study we are using ideal transformer. So here you can see that transformer are there, two windings are there. Okay, this is your primary winding having N1 turns. This is your secondary winding having N2 turns. Voltage at V1, V2, EMF induced is E1 and E2. So V1 is primary voltage, V2 is secondary voltage, E1 is primary induced voltage, E2 is secondary induced voltage, and N1 and N2 are transformer ratios, N1 upon N2. This can be expanded at N1 upon N2 is equal to V1 upon V2 is equal to E1 upon E2 is equal to I2 upon I1. Okay, turns ratio. Fine. I think you get understand about this. Okay, now question comes transformer efficiency. So to check the performance of device by comparing the output with respect to input, that is basically known as efficiency. Okay, the higher the efficiency, system will be best. Okay, so how we have to find your efficiency? This equation will help you in calculation of numerical asking. Okay, so efficiency is output upon input. If percentage efficiency is there, means multiply by percentage 100. So P out upon P out plus losses, you can also write. Okay, output plus losses will be equal to input. Okay, or you can say V2I2 cos theta, that is P output, upon V2I2 cos theta, P output plus PC, that is copper loss, and Cu, you can say iron losses. Okay, means losses. In short, V2I2 cos theta upon V2I2 cos theta plus losses. Okay, full load efficiency is calculated upon VA cos theta upon VA cos theta plus PC upon PCA. N load, at N load you can say N VA cos theta upon N VA cos theta plus PC plus N square PCU. Okay, PCU is PSC and PC is POC. Done. Where half load, hence N equal to 1 by 2, 1/4 load N equal to 1 by 4, and 90% full load will be 0.9. Got it? Fine. Now transformer losses. Which are the losses of here? Okay, so here generally there are two type of losses: iron losses and copper losses. Okay, as there is no rotating part, so you can't say that there is a friction losses here. Okay, so iron losses are basically in your core, means all the iron materials or steel materials which are used in your transformers. Okay, and copper losses are basically generated from copper, which is used in windings. Okay, so iron losses is P iron equal to PC, that is I square R losses. That also known as open circuit. Means when you are calculating the experiment, or when you are doing experiment of open circuit, you will get your iron losses. Okay, another is copper losses due to wirings. Okay, that is copper loss is equal to I square R1 plus I2 square R2, that is short circuit. Okay, in short you can say I square R. Okay, so copper losses is here. In iron losses, there are two type of losses: hysteresis losses and eddy current losses. Okay, we will learn in next uh, chapter. Now one more equation is that is basically EMF equations. Okay, so EMF equation, what happens when you are giving supply to your primary winding? Okay, EMF is induced in your secondary winding, right? So what will be the value of that? For that we are calculating EMF equation. So EMF equation, let N1 be the number of turns in primary and N2 be the turns in secondary. Okay, phi m is nothing but maximum flux in core in Weber. That will be Vm into A, right? So frequency F for AC input in Hertz. Flux increase from its zero value to maximum value phi m in 1/4 of cycle, that is 1/4 cycle. Okay, the average rate of change of flux 1 by 4 phi F phi m. Okay, so here let me try to draw one cycle. Sorry. We are taking this much part. Okay, this whole position, let this is your T, this will be your T by 4. Okay, T by 14. Okay, so here average rate of change of flux, that will be 1 by 4 F phi m. Okay, now F equal to what? 1 by T. Okay, so from that you can say 4 F phi m Weber per second or volt. Okay, that is average rate change of flux. Okay, in quarter cycle. Now rate of change of flux per turns means induced EMF. So average EMF upon turns, so you can say 4 F phi m volt. If flux varies sinusoidally, here you are seeing that it is very sinusoidally, then RMS value of induced EMF is obtained by multiplying the average value with form factor, as you all know. So form factor will be what? RMS upon average. Here we know the average value and the value of form factor. Form factor is nothing but 1.11, and average value we have find out 4 F phi m. Okay, so from that you can say RMS value of EMF per turn will be equal to 1.11 into 4 F phi m will be equal to 4.44 F phi m volts. Okay, now RMS value of the induced EMF in whole of primary winding, that will be induced EMF per turns into number of primary windings or primary turns. Okay, so E1 will be equal to what? 4.44 F N1 phi m. is equal to 4.44 F N1 BMA. Okay. Instead of 5m, you can say BMA. So you can say that BM is equal to what? 5m upon A. Right? Done. Similarly, RMS value of EMF induced in secondary is nothing, but E2 will be equal to same equation, only in terms will be changed. Here you are seeing that 4.44 F N2 5m is equal to 4.44 F N2 BMA. Okay. So this is nothing, but this is your EMF equation. Got it? Fine. So now proceed to the diagram of transformer. This is the transformer which you have seen. This is the pole type of transformer. Maximum it is delta to star type, located near societies or that. Okay. This is your transformer. Okay. Thank you.